Welcome to Sass Bites. This is your weekly bite of Sass during your lunch break. We're doing Wednesday today because that's stuff going on tomorrow. So get a little bit early. I am Micah Godbolt. You can follow me down there on Twitter as well as Sass Bites on Twitter. You can catch all of our previous episodes on youtube.com/SassBites and catch all previous 76, whatever the number is now, episodes. So we've been going through last few weeks talking about Libsass. You're hearing a lot about Libsass coming out. Actually, 3.2 just got released. So there's lots of stuff happening. We're getting really close to feature parity between the Libsass, the C version of it, and the RubySass, which is the original implementation. So what that means is that a lot of people are starting to want to get this into their projects. And as most of us have been moving towards some kind of task runner, to make life easier. I took a couple weeks looking at Grunt and seeing how that works with getting into Grunt, getting in with some Sass globbing and pulling in Suzy and breakpoint, those kind of things. So I want to take a quick look at Gulp, the other side of the coin, to show how that works. It's a good exercise for me as well because I usually don't use Gulp. So it's always fun to kind of jump back there and see what it takes to set that up. So we're going to do exactly that. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of it, and we'll go from there. So the first thing you need to do is have a Gulp project up and running. I'm not going to walk through all of that. You need your package.json and node setup and all that. But what we are going to do is we are going to install some npm, some node packages. So npm install. We're doing Gulp. So we're going to need, I believe, a local version of Gulp. I didn't try it without, so I'll just double check. We'll toss it in there. And then we're also going to npm install Gulp Sass. You should always be doing this save dev. So it puts it in your package.json, which I've actually already done because I've worked through this project before. But Gulp Sass, that is a Libsass version. If you want the Compass version, it's Gulp -Compass-Sass, and that'll be the Ruby version. And then we're going to do one other thing as well. So I'll get this set up. Is we're going to install Gulp source maps. And source maps is the tool that allows you to, when you're looking in the inspector in Chrome, to be able to drill down not just the CSS file, but to the Sass file that created that CSS. Really handy for debugging and those types of things. So we're going to toss that in as well. So we're going to put those 3 packages in, and that's really all we're going to need to get up and running. There we go. So we can see our package.json. We've got Gulp. We've got Gulp Sass at 1.33. We've got our source maps at 1.5, and then it's going to come in with all the dependencies as well, which is going to include Node Sass and Libsass, because this is obviously Node. So let's look at our Gulp file. It's relatively simple. We're requiring our 3 major items up top, our 3 packages. And then down below, we're just setting up a default task. You can call this Sass if you want, or something else. Usually it'll have a lot more tasks in here. But I just want to walk through it. Default just means that when we type Gulp, that's what we get. This is exactly what runs when we type Gulp. You don't need any other qualifiers. And then we're going to start with our source, which I'm just going to look at our current directory, // and then any file that's star.scss. So I currently have style.scss. I could have as many as I want, or none. So anyway, or you can be explicit too if you really want to. So one quick thing is here, we do need to initialize source maps. You won't have this if you're not using source maps. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pipe all that in. And in Gulp terminology, piping is basically passing something from one process to another. So the source is actually grabbing the file, and then we're going to pipe Sass. It's actually going to pass it into Sass, into the Sass function. And then it's going to write the source maps. I currently have it writing to the same directory as the destination. You can have it go to a different folder. You can have it go embedded. I believe the typical process is having it next to it. So we're just going to have it right next to it, basically the same folder. And then we're going to have our Gulp destination. So after it's done the Sass conversion, it needs to know where do we want that Sass to go. So let's go ahead and give that a run. And again, all we have to do is type Gulp. And using that Gulp file we see there, starting my default task, and it takes all of 6 milliseconds and all that. Doesn't can't. There we go. So our end result is style.css. We see we've got just a real basic set up a variable, place the variable in, do some nesting, and we see the output here is div background color blue, div span color blue, and yes, I know the indenting is a little funky. Again, it's compiled code. I believe, I think the new version of Libsass is going to allow some better options for how we display content, but I can guarantee this is valid CSS. And then it shows our source map URL directly over to local style.css.map right next to it. So we could change that if we want it to be different. We could have it if we pass nothing in here, we're going to get it put directly in line. Or another recommendation, here we go, is to do put it in another folder. What that looks like, we have a maps folder, and now we're looking inside maps style. So that's how that works. So we're up and running. Really simple. Really, it was just 2 npm modules. We added source maps just to have a little more completeness with everything. And inside of our Gulp file, if we didn't want maps, we'd take out both these lines. And I think that would be it. Don't break anything. Yeah. It would just be these 2 lines right there. So it makes it really simple. You can use Libsass right now with Gulp to compile your Sass at amazingly breaknecking speeds. And a little background, I kind of talked about this with Grunt, with Grunt. That there is a question of version. So you heard that version 3.2 of Libsass just came out, and you're like, yes, awesome, npm install all the things, until you realize that just because it's in Libsass doesn't mean it's made its way all the way down the chain. So at this point, Gulp Sass 1.33 is the version, is using Node Sass 2.1.1, which is using Libsass 3.1. So it's not using 3.2 yet. It's still using the previous version. 3.2 just came out like days ago. It was released, which means that the new version of Node Sass is currently in beta. I think it's like in beta 6 at the time of this recording. So it's coming soon. So as soon as the 3.0 version is done in Node Sass, all the bindings they need to do, then they can update that, and then Gulp can start using it without too much fuss at that point. So gotta wait. If you're really impatient, go help out with those issue queues and get that pushed along. But that is Gulp running Libsass. Super fast, super quick. If you're ready to move over that, if you don't have any Ruby dependencies, whether that's Compass or any other gems that require Ruby, and you're okay with slightly limited functionality, which will be even less limited when 3.2 comes out, you're really close to moving over to Libsass. And you'll see some awesome improvement and performance gains. So that's a real quick one today on Libsass and Gulp. Hit me up if you have any other things that you do want to talk about or you want to hear about, whether it's Gulp or Grunt or anything else. I've got some things in mind, maybe running some Flexbox or something in the near future. I'm always up for suggestions, so just ping me at SassBytes with some of your thoughts of things that you want to hear about. So hope this helped. We'll talk to you later. Bye.